I believe we have another video clip, actually. I think it may include Jamal or Swoozy. Let's take a look from the final episode.
Oh man, I think Hannah's walking in.
What is that?
Hey gamers.
A rope this time. We got a rope.
I'm back with something very special for you. This rope could be 20 feet long. It could be 2 miles long.
We know what happened when that rope came into the room. So we'll move on to this man here to my left. This guy does not like publicity at all. This guy can self-promote like no one's business. We have Jamal over here, so let's give Jamal a hand. Mark, you chose Jamal to be your wingman, and you won 5-4, I guess, in Soul Calibur. Does he get a piece of the prize package or what? So what's he get? What's he get?
Don't put the idea in his head, please.
Jamal, what do you have to say? Don't you get a piece?
I would never ask anybody for something that they earned on their own. I mean, I did give him guidance and whatnot, but he was on the sticks. He controlled his own fate there, so he deserves all of it himself.
And for maybe a little behind-the-scenes action here, Jamal, what exactly, because we didn't get to go in-depth into some of the hardcore gaming stuff, as a question for Jamal and Swoozy, what techniques were you actually preaching to these guys? What were you telling, for instance, like what were you telling Mark to do with Mitsurugi? What were you telling Rob to do with Maxi?
Well, like, at first they had to pick a character, and I was trying to actually get Mark to pick Killick, because I kind of feel comfortable with him, plus he has range and whatnot. It's kind of a safe character. But he wanted to go with actually he wanted Astaroth, but I was like, dude, you're going to get hammered if you take him.
Tough character.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he's slow or whatnot, and you didn't know what the other team was going to pick. I was kind of trying to listen to hear what character they had from the audio, and I finally figured out that he picked Maxi. So I would just pick Maxi, and then I would have him be Mitsurugi, and I was kind of just trying to do different things. I mean, I didn't know that he was going to come out with combos. I figured Rob would just button mash, so I just basically that's what I was doing to him, trying to overwhelm him with a bunch of different attacks, and he just did. That's what he did.
And no one in the world has ever button mashed with Maxi, ever.
I actually didn't button mash. He actually taught me his actual combos.
I noticed that when I was at the arena.
Let's clarify. We don't want to start this.
What happened? Street Fighter 5-0? What happened?
No, at the arena I realized what you were doing. I said, oh, he actually taught him combos, but I figured he was going to button mash.
All right.
Rob,
there is no doubt that there was skill involved.
he played his butt off. Like when you see him doing some of these moves in like the 7th and 8th round on the show, like he is just like shaking and baking. You get putting nunchucks on his foot and twirling it around. The thing was, I pretty much asked him, like some people would say Maxi's probably the best character for him. But whenever I try to help people advance in fighting games, I mean, fighting games, when it comes down to it, is about momentum. If you control the game, you control the outcome. I want this game to end in 10 seconds. I want to ring you out right now. So with Rob, I asked him basically, listen, dude, how do you want to play this? Do you want to play aggressively? Do you want to play tactical? How do you want to play it? He said, well, I like to play like this. So I looked at some of the characters like, dude, this guy might be the guy for you. Like, went through some combos. I don't want to overwhelm him because we had a very short amount of time. And that's like unheard of in a fighting game, to kind of like a game that you really don't have that much experience with. Like, okay, well, train this guy how to do this. It's like, all right, he's going to play in front of hundreds of people in Samsung Arena with that kind of pressure. Sometimes the lights and the cameras just blank your mind. So I want to get in there, show him the basics, and like say, here, dude, if this is happening, do this. There's A, B, C, back to the basics, and he played his butt off.
What I think was nice also about the final match in terms of hardcore gaming is I think we saw distinct progression in that the first couple rounds you saw play styles, then you saw a lot of adaptation. Whether it was busting out a new move that hadn't been seen before, you mentioned Maxi's nunchucks around the leg. It was pretty clear that Rob was going to pull something out of a bag of tricks there. But Mark, you know, I played a lot of Street Fighter against you online, and let me tell you what your greatest skill is, and you should comment on this because you were down 0-4. But Mark, if I can talk about the way you play a little bit, I think your greatest skill is your adaptability. You are very good at adapting to what somebody else is doing. Do you have any comment on that? Because you literally were dead. And you weren't. What happened? You switched your playstyle. What did you do?
Well, I don't play single-player games at all. I don't get a thrill in video gaming unless I'm beating somebody. So I'd say like my strongest strength in just games in general is just figuring out what people are doing in the first place to me. And Yeah, things swung my favor. You know, weren't going my way the first few rounds, but you know, finally I just kind of backed up with Rugi and used my range a little bit. But you know, I think one of the things, I'm a real in-your-face, aggressive fighting game kind of person anyway, and you know, I was practicing against Jamal like that the entire time. But whatever Rob was doing, he was just, you know, throwing up defenses, and every time I wanted to do a big move, he'd put a jab in my face. Every time I tried to strike high, he'd sweep low and put me on my back. And then anytime I was up on a round, he'd knock me out of the ring. So finally, I don't know what happened, it finally clicked. But you know, just adaptability is my greatest strength in games, just in general.
It is definitely. I've played so much against you. Rob, let's talk about the infamous moment in the final match. I'm sure you guys know what moment I'm referring to. I love it. I turn around, the mic gets a lot louder. Anyway, the moment where Mark is against the ring and he has about a 20th of a life bar. You guys remember this?
Round 9.
Extraordinary. In fact, it was so ridiculous that we were all, I mean, Hannah was literally like this. At backstage, she couldn't believe it. It was obscene. Rob, what happened there? What was going on in your head when you had probably half a life bar and he had this much and there was a turnaround? Was it just too much? Was the pressure of the moment too big?
I was just actually amazed how I went for 4-0. And then from there on, I thought I had it to a point where you get really aggressive, and then when you start, that's where I kind of started button mashing just to put hits after hits, chips, and you know whatnot. Then around, what is it, the ninth round? The ninth round, I realized, you know, he had this much of health left, right close to the ring as well. Yeah, basically, it's just, I just kept kicking, just, he had the ability, see, he knew the game more than me, so from there, he knew how to get out of it, and he just managed to counter everything, and, you know, it was a hard drop.
It was a
Definitely.
remarkable moment, though, in terms of the actual story and drama of our show. It's incredibly memorable. I mean, many people that watch the show have commented on that particular moment.